Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am not Matt. I'm going to do my best to play Matt tonight. Matt is on assignment elsewhere, so it is me, your friendly neighborhood RJ, and Kid. Kid, how are you?
Hello.
Craig, Kid, whoever you are, sir, how are you tonight?
We are all well. Kid, cat reg, cat, all of us.
So we'll get everybody a moment to pop in before we get into the big news. But temperature on how just not any details, just temperature between icy cold and center of the sun on your general feelings today with credit card refreshes.
I'm personally not quite, sub zero, but easily surface corona level sun.
Yeah, I'm not in the center of the sun. I'm probably on like Venus, right? Like
Okay.
I've got that extra hot environment, but I'm not quite in the center of the sun.
I don't know if anybody here watches Invincible, but I won't ruin the last season for you. But I'm pretty much there.
I feel you. So yes, Clinton, I am in fact running the show. Behind the scenes kind of occasionally run the show. It's that whole type A personality thing. Um, but we're gonna go on. This is the nice part about having multiple co-hosts is that there's usually at least one of us available at any given time to do a thing.
It's true. Also,
It's
don't
great.
let RJ sell you short. She herds cats all day.
I do herd cats. I do. I in fact herd many cats in both my professional and my personal life. I'm basically just a professional cat herder.
I
I'm
just took my kid
also
to soccer
oh,
practice, and that's essentially what it's like to be a soccer coach for 2-year-olds, if anybody was wondering.
so I am also drinking a giant cup of coffee, right? Like the mug is as big as my head. Um, so so we're good. So we have coffee. I also have Coke Zero as legally required and Dr. Pepper Zero. So we have enough caffeine to get through this.
I have no caffeine, but I do have a Topo Chico. So,
Very nice.
spicy water. We're here for
Spicy
it.
water. I did have so before we get into it, will we give people a minute to pop in? Um, I have to tell you a funny story. Before I do, Keith, it's right here. It is never far. It is never far from my reach. It is simply right here. Coffee first though. So I got a friend who asked me, "Have you ever been to a Delta Sky Lounge in Atlanta?" They asked me this in full seriousness. Craig, do you know how hard I had to
That's a valid question.
control my face when they asked me? And we're in tech, so it doesn't matter if I control my face, but do you know how hard it was for me to just not guffaw? Not because they did anything wrong, but just asking me of all people, have you been to a Sky Lounge in Atlanta?
In fairness, you do love the Sky Lounge in LaGuardia, so I could understand if you skip the cesspool that is Atlanta. Also,
Here's
is
the
that
th-
audio any better?
yes, your audio to me sounds good.
Okay.
Um, so I agree, but I have three total options and only two realistic options to fly through for me: LaGuardia or Atlanta. Those are my two.
No Detroit?
Those are my two. That is the extent of the list.
Oh,
Is LaGuardia and Atlanta. Detroit is technically on the list. I will be flying through Detroit when I go to Denver and when I go to Hawaii. But usually I'm on the East Coast. So usually, even if I'm going to like Dallas,
okay.
usually they route me through one of those. There is some audio hum from you, Craig, for whatever
Hmm.
reason. I see John has joined us. Very good. We are working on Craig's mic. It is one of those things that does take time, people. Craig is I will give Craig some love. He has been a fantastic step in. He has been just a joy and a delight, even if he's a Bears fan. We do forgive the Bears fan in
I
him.
feel like I should be forgiven as being a Bears fan because I know only pain for the entirety of my life.
This is true. You have we've got Spathco representing the Vikings. We've got you representing the Bears. I don't know if we have a Lions fan.
Nor should we.
No. Um no. Hey, we're in the TB land over in the Stack Your Points Discord. Check out stackyourpoints.com to join said Discord. But yeah, so I was asked if I had ever been through any of the Atlanta Sky Clubs. I took a moment of self-reflection before acting like a smartass, and I said yes. And then I asked the reasonable question, which one are you going to? Because dear listeners, the Atlanta Sky Clubs are not created equal. They are not all created equal. Unfortunately, this person could not tell me. So always do your research on Atlanta Sky Clubs. That's my warning to you all. LaGuardia, go to the big one. Just go to the big one.
I wasn't aware that there was one outside of the big one in LaGuardia, so that is news to me.
I want to say there's another one in a different terminal. I want to say there's another one. I always go to the big one because that's the one I always fly into.
No, that's fair. I just legitimately had no idea. I thought it was just that one huge one, and why would you go anywhere else? Even if it's a 15-minute walk, trust me, it's worth it.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I'm also so people, I apologize. I am very used to Matt being the person that leads this and being able to do research over on screen B while Matt says things. So if I trail off, I do apologize. I'm not used to walking and chewing gum anymore. It's been about 3 years since I've actually hosted a thing and not co-hosted said thing. So I apologize if we're a bit rusty, but we'll carry on.
I got you. I'm also on screen B looking stuff up right now. And I can tell you, I've been to the Sky Clubs in Atlanta for E, C, D, and A. Just don't even do it. Just don't even do it. I would prefer to just go to the Centurion Lounge there. The Centurion Lounge is nice.
Yes, it is. Here's the thing. And this is a different experience, I would imagine, for men and women. And I've talked about this before. I am not a man, nor have I ever used a urinal. I'm going to put that out there right now. I imagine for men, just being able to walk in, do whatever you got to do, wash your hands and walk out, can be a relatively easy experience wherever you are, right? As long as it's not like disgusting, it's a much easier in and out. It's a quicker, easy in and out, right? You just go do your business, wash your hands. With women, bathrooms range a little more because you're in there a little longer, and there's a different vibe sometimes in the women's restrooms, to where, for me personally, half of the reason I like lounge access is the bathrooms tend to be cleaned more and tend to be more accessible than the ones in the terminals. So that is something that I never see male creators talk about. But when I talk to women who travel, that is one of the top 3 things they mention. So it's one of those interesting things between how men and women can travel.
I will tell you that is the probably, if not top 3, top 5 reason why my wife says, hey, yeah, we got to keep at least one lounge card. She refuses to go to a public restroom in any airport anymore. And when we don't have lounge access, or there's a airport that does not have a lounge, she goes, this is ghetto and I don't want to be here anymore. And I understand it. But I will tell you, also, I realize what the hum is that you all are hearing. That is my new AC. It needs to break in right now because, fun fact, my AC unit broke. So you're hearing the hum of a new AC unit. But, and I'm certain some guys will back me up on this one, there is always one phantom pooper, at least in a lounge bathroom. And I mean, not just like a little, oh, hey, man, you want to give us a courtesy flush? But, you have full hands on the floor, butt naked in there right now, dude. You're in 4-wheel drive.
This is what you all have come to this podcast for. I'm sure Matt is somewhere just melting. Was a little bit of a TMI, Clinton, but we're gonna push on. All right, we're 10 minutes in. If you're here, you're here. If we didn't scare you away, let's talk.
I am not the phantom pooper, just to be very clear.
Someone who needs to think about their diet, absolutely. They maybe need a ladder in their life to help them. Food ladder, perhaps. All right. I want to talk about the platinum refresh. There's something I want to hit before we do anything else with this, because this was a sticking point for the CSR refresh that I think is worth talking about. And I want to get this out of the way early. They did not change the additional fee for additional platinum cards. It stayed at $195. They did change the annual fee for the card overall. It went to $895, but they didn't change the additional user fee. I think that is incredibly smart because, yes, they bumped up the annual fee, but they did not touch the additional user fee. I think that's very smart.
I also want to point out that even if you are a new platinum card holder, that new fee doesn't go into effect until January 2nd. So you do have some time.
Yes. We will talk about the business platinum, but we're going to do the entirety of the personal plat, and then we'll switch to the business plat, because my personal moral stance on business cards, which, yes, call me a hypocrite, I have them, but I have talked to enough people and done enough research where I am comfortable with business cards, but in general, business cards present some issues. So we will talk about them, but we're going to firewall the two cards. But we will, I promise we will get there. All right. What do you think about the $895 to sort of start off at the top? I'm literally just going down the Amex page, guys. So if you want to go to the American Express Platinum page and just follow along, that's our roadmap for this evening. $200 for what was done to me seems fair. Do you agree?
Oh, I completely agree. I think so. Let me say this: there are always going to be three camps. There's going to be the group that says any type of annual fee raising is just completely the worst thing you can possibly do. There's the group that's somewhat like us, where they will say, "Hey, I understand it, I get it." And also just being fair, if we look at like inflationary numbers from where the card went to $695 to now, if we looked at it for inflation, they should have put it somewhere around $860, $850. So I think it's fair. And then there's a third group, which I find myself bouncing back and forth between group 3 and group 2. I wanted it to be a little bit higher because I am so tired of those Centurion lounges being full and having to wait.
Well, speak of that. Speak of that issue, Keith. Here's the thing. I think there are ways to do it without bringing up the annual fee to $1,500. There are ways for us to get there. I don't know if, with the amount of people who do it, I don't know if just bumping up the annual fee is actually going to fundamentally bring down the amount of people, because like my annual fee doesn't renew until July of 26. As Craig pointed out, if you get a card now, you're not going to hit that new annual fee until January. So it's not, even if they put it at $1,500 but kept the January and people who are not renewing yet, it's not going to have an immediate impact. So and they also don't want to piss people off because they just watched what happened to the CSR. So I think it was a high enough where normal people or people who are just lightly into premium cards are going to be like, I'm out. Low enough where they're not going to turn away the people who have, quote, legitimate reasons. They do a lot of flights. They want the benefits, whatever. I do think it was a good amount. I think anything south of about $9.99 probably would have worked.
Honestly, I'm genuinely surprised we didn't go for the 995 number. And that could just be psychology. That could be where we're going for the Platinum's 50th reunion, because this is what, 45 right now.
It's mid 40s. I have a feeling at 50 it's going to bump up even more.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I have a
100%.
feeling it will go to 4 digits. I don't think it's going to go to 1,000. I think it's probably going to go to about 12 to 1,300 by the time we get there. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be just lightly over 1,000. I think it's going to be well in there. QC man, thank you for the $1.99. Yeah, I would agree that the $8.95 seems fair. We'll go through all of the benefits. We'll go through all of the changes, but yeah, starting at the top of the page, I think it's fair. All right, let's take a look at a couple of things. They did not change the multipliers, Craig. 5x for flights booked directly, 5x for flights and hotels through the portal. Prepaid. That's the thing that people sometimes balk at, right? Is it's prepaid through the portal. What are if they didn't change it to hotels, right? If they didn't change that it had to be through the portal, but it didn't have to be prepaid through the portal, would that have a fundamental change, or are you just like, they need to add hotels, forget the portal at all?
So personally, I enjoy flexibility. I don't want to have to think about or use an extra step for the card. And I know that sounds counterintuitive considering the credits on the card, but for me personally, and we'll get into that in a bit, but the credit changes work. Um, I think Amex, I get it. The best, and here's what I was talking with Matt about this. Chase is Samsung, Amex is Apple. I get it. You know what? We have to work through your portal, through your payment system, all of that, yada yada yada. But we're in 2025 now. Giving me 5x in hotels, or even just 3x general travel and eating some of the green card's lunch would have been helpful for me. Um, I think that keeping things purely to prepaid hotels and in the portal is just a bit much, right? Like if I have to ding it for one thing, that is one of the things that I will have to put a negative mark on this refresh. Um, and they don't have any reason to not give us that, right? Like you could still say, hey, we won't give you the credit unless you go through FHR or through the hotel collection. That works perfectly fine. But as far as just general spend, imagine how many extra swipes you would get. Now, granted, a lot of the hotels that you can prepay in Amex are refundable, so there's not really any drawback because even if you don't pay until you get to the hotel, for a lot of hotels, there is a drop dead, you can cancel this booking date. So it's the same thing.
Right. I think the problem is that they don't have the inertia to change it because of everything else with the platinum card being everything else with the platinum card, right? Like with Chase, the most you're going to get is 2x on travel with the CSP. Where with Amex, they can be like, get a platinum, get a green. Everybody's happy, right? So I think because they have the green card, and the green card is if I could take the green, the gold, and the platinum and just make a card, please give us that as graphite. If I could just do that, then it wouldn't matter, right? But it's the we already have it this way, why change it, versus the we have it this way, we've changed it to this. I think that's the mental roadblock that Amex has. To Keith, yeah, I understand your thoughts here, Keith. I do. I think it would have annoyed too many people without, again, changing fundamentally right now how the lounges are made up. There's no way to right today change that unless they completely nerf your ability to enter said lounge because of when annual fees roll in and when authorized user fees roll in. There's no way to do that immediately. No, Matt is not. It is not a protest. It is just lifing. That seems to be our MO lately. But yeah. All right.
In fairness, it's a good guess.
It is. Matt, here's the thing. Matt wouldn't not be on for protest. Matt would be on for protest.
And the most vocal
That's the
person here.
difference. Exactly. All right. Did not change on the personal plat for the multipliers. I kind of figured it would be. I really wanted them to go to 1.5 just for everything.
Nice.
Because, or even if they had done 2x travel, like just something, man. I didn't think it was going to change. If it changes, my guess is the 50th for like some big redo.
We are further away from the 50th than I thought. 1984 was the launch, so 2024 was the 40th year. So we have 9 more years to go, or 8 more years from now.
Also, double gifting a membership, which went to John R., which is delightful.
We love it.
Thank you, Double. We appreciate you, sir. Honestly, I'm going to give a special shout out right here to Double. Double joined several 6, 8, 10 months ago. You have been a delight, sir. And I mean that like not because you're a diamond member with us, but you are active in our Discord. You are somebody who asks questions. You are somebody who has learned a lot and who now helps people. So thank you, Double. You truly, your taste in fast food is questionable, but we do appreciate you very much.
Hey, the burgers, fantastic. The fries, I can leave them.
Fair. Spathco, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, that you are not the target demographic of the portal for Amex when it comes to how you book and then rebook your travel.
Fair. It's my favorite saying. It's a Spaceco problem.
Yeah. All right.
But I say that with all of the love in the world, just so you know.
Absolutely. All right. The $600 credit for FHR and the hotel collection. Hotel collection, you got to spend 2 nights. FHR, only 1 per everything I've seen online.
There is some perks to booking with the hotel collection. Sometimes those hotels don't make it to the FHR collection, but they are still equally fantastic properties. And I will say, 2 nights, oh no, now we're getting into Chase territory. But with that said, even at 2 nights, some of those hotel collection properties, beautiful. I need to give a shout out to Keith. He found a property, an IHG Intercontinental in Miami for like $84 a night.
Yeah.
So you could book quite a few nights off of a $300 credit.
Also, my guess is that's more the hotel telling Amex, or like the group of hotels with Amex versus Amex just being like, you've got to stay 2 nights. I have a feeling it's more the hotels pushing back.
And I'll say this, I agree with you, because the Conrad in Indianapolis is a hotel collection and not FHR. But it is just as good as any other Conrad I've ever been to. Granted, some of the rooms have not been renovated yet, so they're a little older, but the renovated rooms or the suites that I know Spaceco would book, truly fantastic. Also, just because I love Indianapolis, it's the 12th largest city in the country. Please come, have tourism. We have wonderful things.
I have an IHG cert for my ambassador status for an Intercontinental. I am trying to figure out which Intercontinental to go to because I'm using points to book my DC trip, which I've already booked. So I was going to use the cert to go over Labor Day weekend. That did not happen. So I might come to that Intercontinental just because I got to find one. Might as well go to one.
Have you ever been to the Cherry Blossom Fest?
I have not.
Could be another good way to, if you like the Intercontinental in DC, another great way.
Well, I'm going there during cherry blossom season. So I'm going March, April to DC. So it's like going by myself and then going with my parents is a great in theory, but logistically a little bit fraught.
Don't worry, Ian. I will have some protests here for you.
Also good. But yeah, so it becomes this thing where like I get the 2 nights can be difficult, but it's more the hotels than Amex. This is more the hotels kind of have pushed and Amex has just listened. I think $300 twice a year is fine. I understand people hate split credits. I think once you get into 200 plus for the credit, it's okay if it's split.
Absolutely. And I need to just shouting out Ian's comment here for a second. Need to give a little protest. We were all so upset with the CSR for having 2 nights for the 250. It's 2 nights, right? Like I get that we want to be min maxers and just get the credit, but also if you weren't going to stay there for 2 nights, then maybe it's just not for you. And I want to say this: that is not a shot. That is not a personal gripe. That is not anything negative. Some of these cards just aren't for everybody. I
It's
love
not.
that RJ loves Delta. I was thinking about the Delta Reserve. It's not for me. It's just not.
No, it's not for you, bro. Like that. I'm when we have merch, and guys, I promise you to all of our Diamond members, I am working on merch. The hard part is finding a way to do the credit that you are paying for. So I am not ignoring the fact that we will have merch. I am trying to honor our merch and our word. You will have your discount, I promise you. Just trying to figure out how to do it. But yes. Um, yeah, a single night in a luxury hotel is really like it's really hard to justify being at a luxury hotel for less than 24 hours because between when your check-in is and even if you get the latest possible checkout, you're probably at 24 hours at the possible most.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, it is FHR and the hotel collection. Most people just drop it down to FHR. But both of them together is incredibly powerful. I was actually looking at a couple places in New Orleans where it's like, oh, I could just go to New Orleans for like a week and spend like $200 out of pocket. I mean,
The
me in
Roosevelt.
New Orleans might not work.
No, no, no.
There
Go
is
in January or December. It's very mild. It's nice. You'll hit is 75, a little bit of humidity. But the Roosevelt, if you like Hilton's, it is the
I
old
do.
worldy, old timey architecture. It's beautiful, wonderful food. You might have to ask them to like not make it spicy.
So here's the thing. I've actually been to New Orleans. I worked at the newspaper when I was in college, and one of
Love
the big
this.
newspaper conferences was in New Orleans. So we went, and it was great. I've had the best meal of my life was in a place over a bar that the lighting was red, like the light bulbs themselves were red. I have looked. It was off of Bourbon Street. I have looked for this place in the 15 years since I have been there, and I have not been able to find it. I remember clearly there was a bar over here, and there was a tiny, narrow set of stairs that went up, and there were like 3 tables up there and a bathroom. And like 7 of us had baked potatoes the size of my head. I vividly remember this place, and I cannot find it on any Google map.
Turns out you
Detour.
actually just went into a time portal spirit zone, and it was just a zone of the dead. It's okay.
Yeah, a single night is just it's just like I get it if you're like doing business, like I'm going a couple of places, I'll just stay a night randomly, but I'm not staying a night at a luxury hotel. I'm going to like
Yeah.
my local Hampton Inn and just getting away. Um and yeah, FHR is legitimately very good and I think people like I'm not a portal person. I am becoming more of a portal person because of Delta, but FHR is real good. FHR and the hotel collection, very good. Yes, we drop it down to just FHR because words, but still very good.
I'll also say this in regards to the edit. It becomes so if you look at it, many domestically at least, many of those hotels are the same. And so where we're seeing where you say, oh, 3,100 properties. Well, distill down how many of that 3,100, what percentage would you actually go to versus just saying you have more hotels, right? Like it's that
Right.
paper dragon versus usability standpoint. The problem is that the edit only has domestically some of those ultra super luxury hotels, like what that place I stayed in Napa Valley. I would never pay cash for that. Those that is the perfect use for American Airlines points, but cash, I am not coming out of pocket 5 6 grand a night. It's just not going to happen.
No, no. There are no places that I would say for $6,000 a night. And I am on record as being fancy, but no. Just no.
300,000 American Airlines points? Oh, absolutely. Cash? Not a chance.
Yeah, like I'll clean out a point system. Like I have almost 900,000 because I moved a booking from points to cash with Hilton, and I have almost 900,000 Hilton points. Like I'll drain all my Hilton points. I'll go to a Waldorf for 4 days. Like I'm fine with that, but like cash, no.
We should meet up in the New York Waldorf.
Honestly, I thought of it. I can get like 4 days at that Waldorf. Matt and I were looking at it after the last podcast. Look, it's expensive. If it's not for you, there's no shame. Like, okay, we're gonna pause on annual fee, the overall annual fee and premium card conversation because I don't want to get that far off topic. $600 a hotel, went over it. I think that is a good amount, and I think the $300 twice a year is a good way to get people to use it without pushing them to constantly use. If this was quarterly, I think it would not go over as well.
I will also say too, for those that are wondering about booking prepaid for FHR or for the hotel collection, if you are, for example, stacking your redemptions, so let's say that you book, I'm just going to use the Chicago Waldorf Astoria for 2 nights using the credit this half of the year. The moment January 1 rolls around, you can book that again. And once you get to the hotel, you can have them combine those stays.
Yeah.
So just an easy way to go about doing that. It's also something that you can have done with the Hilton Aspire, but well, that's another conversation for a different podcast.
Yeah, it is. All right. New credit, $120 for Uber One, matched with the $200 for Uber, $15 a month, and then $20 in December. So I think adding Uber One makes a ton of sense. They already had the Uber credit on the reserve for Delta. They were giving away free months if you had that as the card. So it makes sense that they finally went there. I've already set it up for my card to do this. I'm midway through my cycle, so I've already set it up. Here's the thing. I understand that sometimes there are differences in price. I do not use it enough where I care. And that is a me thing, but I do not use it to where if it's $3 difference, but I get fees back, it overall matters to my world.
So I'm going to say this is one place where I think Chase wins. There are a ton of ways to get Uber One I'm wondering if they ate the Saver One's lunch here postpartum. Wow, not postpartum, because Saver One did not deliver a baby. Postmortem, there we go. Cards do not have children. But I'm just thinking about it. You could have gotten it from that card. You can get it from the Apple card for 6 months. You can get it from your Delta cards. You can get it through Walmart Plus through sometimes. So like, I think that having Uber One isn't necessarily a one-up unless, and granted, these are for people that don't have a ton of cards or don't choose to go out looking for a way to subsidize that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a infinite number fewer ways to get Lyft Pink than there are Uber One. And I've used Uber One and Lyft enough to say that from a driving standpoint, you will usually find cheaper rates in Lyft. And I will say that the Lyft Pink credits are a little bit more helpful as far as like giving you free priority booking, free cancellations, things of that nature. Also, I enjoy getting 5X on the CSR, right? Like that's just nice but that said, you don't have to book your Ubers with the Platinum card. You also don't have to book your food with the Platinum card. You can use the Gold card and get 4X, or you can use the Green card and get 3X.
Yeah. Also, like I use it more for food than I do rides. So for me, like I'm going to be at a Hilton a lot. Over the next month, I'm spending 14 nights in Hilton in the next like 30 something days. So I'm going to be in Hilton a lot. I don't necessarily need an Uber to or from the Hilton. I need food delivered to me at said Hilton. So for me, like that is the more important thing. I can't do that with Lyft, right? I could, in theory, do it with DoorDash, but I'm not really in the Chase ecosystem. Also, and this is something that was brought up in the Discord by, I think, Spaithco this afternoon. Sometimes like a $15 credit that is just there is easier than a 10-5-10 credit.
Yeah.
Even though it's more money, you have to do more for it versus just a credit drops.
Oh, that 10-5-10, it just doesn't get used.
Yeah.
I don't even count that. It's a gone deal. Also, to Keith's point, city bikes. Granted, my big butt's not getting on a city bike, but if you are healthy and like to ride bicycles, and you live in a big city, 100% agree with it.
So Spaithco, I've actually done the math on this. Like I've done it where I'm signed in with an account with Uber One and not. And for mine, there wasn't really a difference. That is heavily going to depend on geography or other factors. But I have tested this and I did not come away with the same results. So
I will say I've tested it with my wife and we've gotten different pricing. Where it becomes a scam for me isn't that she's had cheaper pricing, it's that my pricing isn't cheap enough by comparison. It might only be a 5 or 10 cent difference.
Yeah, mine, like the thing that saved me was fees. Like the fees stuff is cheaper than whatever was on it. So for me,
No, that's
that
fair.
made the difference. Again, I use it mostly for food. I don't know if rides are markedly different. Most of what I tested it on was food. Again, I live in the middle of nowhere, so Ubering places isn't as much of a thing here because most people have cars. I don't live near. If you're picturing, when I say I'm a New Yorker and you're picturing the city, you are wrong. Like you were. I am where the cows of New York City live, not where the people of New York City live. Just also, yeah, Costco gift cards for $20 off are nice.
That's fair.
All right. But I think the synergy of this makes sense, right? You have Uber One, you have an Uber credit. Those make sense. Even if you don't use it, I think people can intellectualize why this makes sense. That's my 2 cents. The $200 airline fee credit did not change, and mine also did not reset. So that is just rolling forward. It makes sense. It makes sense. It doesn't reset if it's not changing and is literally exactly the same.
So. I was very happy, though, that my FHR credit reset. So I'm really glad I used that last week. I'd have been a little mad if I lost out on $200.
Very nice. Clear credit, $209 for the clear credit, just bumped up because of the price of clear going up. Now that you don't have to use biometrics, I actually signed up for clear for the year. I have not been to an airport that has clear yet. I am going to Denver. So if I am able to set it up fully in Denver, I will do so. My home airport is not clear compatible because my home airport is the size of a large Texas high school. So actually, my local airport is probably the size of a mid-sized Texas high school.
There we go.
Just the actual school part, not like the athletic complex.
Okay.
So yeah, so
like
not a large.
Classrooms.
Yeah, no, there is one TSA line. There is a single TSA line. There are not like there is the pre-check has their own lane. And then just regular TSA. There is not like special no. And the most I've ever waited in the TSA line, which was the longest I've ever seen it, was 32 minutes. That is the most I've ever seen. And it was to the parking garage.
Oh my God.
Because it was the middle of the day and I got there a little later than I wanted. But like it's not hard to get through. So for me, clear is not a necessity going out. It may be useful coming back. That's when I would probably ever see.
I have a similar experience to what is that, Daddy Vroom? I have not had any luck in clear speeding up my airport lounge or airport access. But going in Brooklyn and watching a game has been very helpful in how I move
Okay.
forward in like those lounges and excuse me in those lines. Also, just that reset on my card as well. I'll say this: it's also another free 200 points.
Yeah.
Points are points.
Points are points. QC Man, when I signed up for it, it did not require me to do any biometrics. I think I did my face like they wanted a picture for like my profile, but not like the old one where you had to like scan your face. It was more like upload a picture for your profile. I don't know if I could have uploaded not me. Um Hoomst. Clear, not changing. Yeah, and Spithco is saying that they're facial recognition like TSA Global Entry. They're not the old like fingerprinty things. Guess what? Guess what, kid?
Hmm.
Platinum has Resi now. Are we surprised by this? No.
No, I'm a
I'm
little
surprised by
disappointed.
the. I'm actually surprised by the amount. Four hundred
That's why I'm
dollars is not.
disappointed.
$400 is not a joke, and the $100 a quarter is not bad. So for me, I am. If I had to go 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 6.5 to 7.5 on this one.
I'm gonna go a little bit further, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna full 8 to 9 here. And for me, that's because when I'm in Philly for work, some of my favorite restaurants in the city are truly he lives. Um, but some of my favorite restaurants in the city are Resi restaurants. Some of my favorite bars are Resi restaurants. So I could swipe a card and just not even realize that I'm getting a credit. So having it quarterly, awesome, right? I'm upset because why not put that $400 on the gold card?
That might come in another refresh. Like that
Hmm,
might be a thing that happens a little bit later, so they don't
fair.
step on this. I Sam, I hear you. But if they're gonna do quarterly, which for food, I get why they do quarterly, right? For travel, 6 months at a time makes more sense to me. For food, quarterly makes sense. $100 is like at least most of a good meal. I am staying about an hour from my house this weekend, and there are several places that I can order pickup from that have this. And Resi is something where the credit just works typically. It's not something like the Chase's restaurant thing that seems to be more broken. So there is that. Um,
Oh, so okay. To Broom's question, because I'm not going to keep calling you daddy, unless you give us a super chat, then I'll keep calling you daddy. But to Broom's question or point, I Chase, I love the fact that like the open tables or the sapphire tables is a thing. I do not love that it is so small. And granted, Resi has had what a year on it on them to do this because I looked through it today. Resi is now international as well, and
mhm.
even more so than it was before. There are some London restaurants that weren't there when I was in London in June. So they're clearly doing something with their sales team and their marketing team to get those acquisitions. Um, and one thing I can say, I know for a fact 100% of the time that Resi
No.
credit will work. Oh, wow. That Resi credit will work. I can't say that for a fact with the Chase Sapphire tables.
Um, I will say that they have updated the Amex app, and there's a lot more in it now. If you go to like benefits, you can actually see like Resi restaurants near you if you have like your location turned on and stuff. It's gotten it's gotten some upgrades. Also, it's dark black now, dark gray instead of the blue everywhere, which I appreciate. Um, so yeah, if you haven't checked out your app, please do. It's great. And yeah, guys, Matt had family emergencies, so he's not protesting the uh, Amex card. He just can't be here with us. Um,
Also,
yes, Keith, you can do this. It's yes, you can do this. Um, that's all I'm saying there. Any other thoughts on Resi, sir?
just one, I'll say this. Resi has a really great selection of restaurants
Mhm.
from bottom to top, right? Because you can go to a cheap dive bar all the way up to like some really fantastic Michelin star restaurants. But I will give credit to people to say, hey, I don't go to those places once a quarter, right? Like, especially for the average traveler, it is a hassle for me to say I can use this credit twice. I can't use this credit 4 times. And I completely understand that, right? Like, I'm an oddball because I travel for work. I want to give credit to that. For the average traveler, where somebody's traveling maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and some of those traveling times might be, oh, I'm going to a concert, or I'm going to Disney, or I'm going to Kings Island. There's no Resi restaurants around there. And so I want to give credit, and I'm going to take my score back from an 8-9 and go match RJ with a 6-7 there, just because when we're taking into consideration, and granted, yes, I know the target market is consultants and people that are traveling a lot, but will those people remember to swipe their platinum card? Because, and me and Space Girl had this conversation a few months ago. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean that you aren't in tune with your finances.
Mark, I promise you, after we do the platinum breakdown, we will come back to this. Please remind me once we're done with the platinum. I don't want to break the flow, but I have thoughts on this. It is a great question. I want to answer it. I just give us a minute. But yes, $400. I think that's a good amount. I think that is a fair amount for a card that is not aimed towards food. Because if you have the gold card, you are taking a hit by using your platinum, but you're getting money back. So,
and you're not getting points for. Well, actually, I take that back. You are getting points because it charges and it comes back as a statement credit.
Yeah. You're just not getting 4x if you have the gold, or 3x if you have the green. You're getting 1x, but you're getting money back, so win. They also upped the digital entertainment credit to $300 from $250, which is great because now I pay $1.99 for my Disney Plus bundle. So yay, because I have the Disney Plus one because I need ESPN Plus for sports, and I need Disney Plus because I have nieces and nephews, and also I am a child that grew up in the 90s, and sometimes I will just put on some Disney movies when I'm doing other things. So win.
I have a question for you now.
Yes.
Are you an animated Disney, or are you those Disney original home movies?
Both, but so here's a question for you, sir. What is your favorite non-Golden Age of Disney movie? So not Beauty and the Beast, not Little Mermaid, something off of that, because I have my favorite that actually is probably my favorite over all of those.
So I'm going to say Hercules. Critically panned when it was first came out. Why do I love Hercules? One of the gospel singers for the Muses is my aunt.
That is the coolest fun fact I think I've ever heard.
So when my wife does those Disney runs, whenever we can do a character, she went as my aunt for like, wow, okay, stage manager, bring it back. There we go. She ran as one of the Muses, and my aunt goes, yay, look at that. But yeah, the tall, skinny one that goes, it's a vase. The problem is when she sings her part as a little kid, I was like, be quiet. The movie is on. Not realizing how cool this is.
That is incredibly cool. The Muses, like making them gospel singers was genius. Like that was such that I've seen some like on YouTube occasionally they will have like the backgrounds of when they were doing the singing, and it's like it's incredible. And sorry, as a marshmallow colored person, seeing one of them just be like an old white lady just blew my mind. I was like, I didn't know we could make those sounds. Cool.
Fun fact, gospel, it has no color, people. Gospel is about soul and exuberance. Now, granted, most of those singers are Southern people, but yeah, no, gospel is just the push. Granted, I don't really particularly like gospel music, but I love the whole grandiose of it all. And that's why Hercules is probably my number 3, followed by like Toy Story, Lion King, but that's just because those were my childhood like movies.
Go the Distance is also an underrated I Want song. Like that song is incredible.
He had a Greek Express card. Hercules definitely has a platinum.
That was great. I think my favorite, so top 3 all time for me is the animated Robin Hood. That movie is so good. Another top 3 for me.
Wait, Robin Hood with where he's a fox?
Yes, where he's the fox.
My son watches it all the time, and he just keeps yelling, "Bear, bear, bear," and I was like, "Yes, we will turn on. It's either Jungle Book or it's Little John. I don't know
Yeah.
which one, but you're gonna yell at me until I find out."
Yeah. No, I absolutely love that movie. The other one that I really love that is non Golden Age Disney is The Great Mouse Detective,
Oh,
which
love
is
it.
just Sherlock Holmes but mice. Um I don't know why I love it so much, but I do. And then look, Stockholm syndrome is not actually real. Like that is not actually a real diagnosable condition, but I really do love Beauty and the Beast. Mostly because like the songs, like Something There is also a really great song. Like not one of the top songs people think of, but I love that song.
I have 2 points, and I'm gonna make one about Beauty and the Beast second because it's going to derail everything. Um,
Your aunt was actually Beauty and the Beast.
uh, could you remind me what was the second movie? It was
Great Mouse Detective.
Great Mouse Detective. Ratigan, a rat that doesn't want to be called a rat. Absolutely terrifying. Also, we should be killing villains again. Children
Yes.
have we have gotten away from murdering people for being wrong. Children, it is okay to murder the villain.
Yes, I agree.
Also,
Um,
with Beauty and the Beast, I have learned as my age. Oh, love DuckTales. Yes, I absolutely can. Both the old version and the new.
yes.
Um, but there is a discourse on TikTok and across my friend group of women that lets me know that there are more furries in the world than there should be because they go, yeah, Beast was way hotter as the Beast than he was as a human. And I like, excuse me?
So yes, the answer is yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The problem is they made Prince Adam like too pretty. Like they should have just made him a like when I say a bear, I don't mean an actual like growl bear. I mean like they should have made him like a little stockier. That would have like matched the beast more, I think.
Okay, we have gotten completely off kilter. We have to bring it back because normally RJ is the one to reel us back in.
No,
We gotta
but
bring
here's
this
the
bad boy
thing, like
back.
this is an actual debate women have. This is not like this crosses spectrums. Like I've had this in many arenas of women. Like this
I
is a
found out
thing.
about this like 2 months ago, and I was like, "Oh, I am not on this side
Here's the thing,
of Disney."
it's not about the fact that he was a beast. It's about other things that we don't need to get on this live program. I would say yeah, roughly after Milan would be golden age Disney. But Beauty and the Beast, like Angela Lansbury, that's all you have to say about Beauty and the Beast. Paige O'Hara, like there's an old story of she did a take and then just started crying like in during the take she started crying as Belle and then it cut and she stopped and there she's like I was acting like because she's a voice actor and in the 90s a voice actor act what so yeah I love that. No, Keith, we are not going to be talking about the Disney Visa card.
Lame.
So digital entertainment credit, $300. It has YouTube Premium and YouTube TV now. Fantastic. I'm still using it for my Disney bundle. But we'll see. The Rescuers, also underrated. Bob Newhart and one of the Gabor sisters. I never remember. I think it's Zaza, maybe. But yes, very good. And yeah, Mrs. Potts for the win. Craig, are you going to be hitting up that Lululemon for that $300 credit? I've already spent my $300 or I've already spent my $75 quarterly for
I'm
Lululemon.
I'm going to say this. I spend more on Lululemon than I like to, both for my wife and for I. And I'm going to point this out. Lululemon is not just for sweat and yoga pants. Those compression socks are some of the greatest socks that you can wear for a long period of time. Granted, I'm not elderly, so I don't need to worry about blood clots in my legs, but it's really great to have them on, take them off, and your legs are like brand new, refreshed when you get off a plane. The quarter zips are really nice. The shorts are fantastic for working out. Those are my powerlifting shorts. So when I have like to do a fun fact that you all should know about me, I have no ass at all. I am nothing but a long back and thighs. So sometimes shorts don't want to stay up, and I get plumber's crack. when I am doing some deadlifts, those bad boys are cinched in. They have a nice little bit of rubber stopper so they don't move. It's fantastic. That should be Lululemon's slogan. You won't get plumber's crack.
Now I'm going to have Aisha Tyler, no ass at all, in my head for the rest of this live, sir.
You're welcome.
That was uncalled for, because that is one of the greatest openings to a comedy special ever. So thank you for that, sir.
Welcome.
No, here's the thing. Lululemon has a bunch of stuff like that
The
you can
backpacks
just.
are nice.
The backpacks are nice. They have some wallets that are pretty nice. They've got gloves. They've got hat. Like there is something that you're gonna be able to.
And if you don't want it, buy it, sell it on Facebook Marketplace, make $20.
Here's a thing that you say, Spathco, all of the time. Sometimes the amount of points don't matter depending on the spend. The amount that you're spending for your Disney bundle might not be enough to care about the points if you're getting $25 off for it. Uno card.
Oh, speaking of which, I have an extra $5 I need to burn, so I'm gonna just add I'm gonna pay for something somewhere. Probably Wall Street Journal. Yeah, let's do that.
There you go.
But yeah, the fact that I have the Disney bundle free now, fantastic.
Yeah. Walmart Plus $155 credit still there. I use it so much. I have my US Bank card is nearly on fire. I have almost $300 of cash back. 250 was the welcome offer, but I've gone hard on the Walmart Plus because I can't leave my house always during the week. So just being able to get things brought to me is honestly, as we talked in the last episode, I am willing to pay for convenience, and Walmart Plus gives me that convenience.
So I'm going to say this. I use Walmart Plus all the time, truly all the time. However, the value that I give this credit now has dropped drastically. And the rationale for it, I can get Walmart Plus for $49. So for me, I'm hard pressed to give it any value past $49 for an annual fee. Just because you can get, if you cancel Walmart Plus and they want to get you back, they'll say, hey, you can get it for the year, $49. Or you can get it, they have it on the Capital One offers. They have it I have it on as an offer on my Aspire right now for $49 for the year. The only reason I'm not using it is because I have the Platinum, because it's free. But as far as like cash value for me, I know I can get the equivalent of the service for $49.
So I understand why you rank it that way. I do not. I typically don't do well, if I do this, I can get this. I just rank it. Do I use the service? Do I use the full amount of the service, or do I use partial of the service? I'm not saying you're right, you're wrong, and I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong and you're right. I'm just saying for me, if I use the thing, I'm going to give it the value of the thing. Like I don't give the full $200 for Uber because I don't use the full $200 for Uber because it doesn't carry over. I use maybe a third to a half of it. So I'll rank that where it is, but I give it the full for Walmart Plus because I use the full amount for the Walmart Plus. But
no, and I don't think that that's wrong, right? Because in the case of the other scenarios, you either have to have a card with an Amex offer on it, or you have to have the service and cancel it and wait a week or two. And who knows what you might need in that span of time, right? And to some other people's points, it's really nice. So Sam's Club is in town for me. It is a 10-minute ride. No. But Sam's Club is a 10-minute ride away. It is unfortunately not the cheapest gas for me. The cheapest gas in town is in a sketchy place, and it is usually 45 cents cheaper. So instead, I go to Shell and I get my 3 American Airlines points per dollar or per gallon.
I love when you just drop a random thing in a chat and you figure out who has credit cards and who doesn't. Like that is a little bit of joy. That is, we'll talk about non-platinum things in a minute because we'll take a break between the personal plat and the business plat to do some non-plat things. But yeah, just dropping in and then being like, what? I didn't know you did credit cards. Craig, it lived. The $100 shop Saks credit lived for whatever reason. It lived.
I'll be damned. I'll say this, and RJ knows this about me. I have an unhealthy obsession with many of my hobbies. I have a ton of wallets. I only have so many cards I can carry. I have a ton of colognes. There's only so many sprays I can put on. Like right now, I have just a random bottle of cologne just sitting on my two random bottles of cologne sitting at my work desk, right? Like, bam. I'm not paying full price for colognes. Unless it is some niche thing that I can't get otherwise, there are too many discounters and too many other stores for that to do. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it becomes a skincare thing. I use Clinique for my skincare. And I'm going through a breakout right now because I'm stressed at work, but usually I've got pretty good skin. Um, and I'll say this, the $50 is enough to get me two nice bottles of lotion, but otherwise, eh, it's a throwaway credit for me.
Honestly, you know what I tend to use Saks for is like kitchen stuff. Like I got my
Rice cooker.
mom a really, really long rolling pin because she likes to bake and make bread and stuff. So I got her like just a super, it's almost like 2.5 feet. It's almost might be 3 feet. Like it is a giant one because she can use it on the island in the kitchen. And it was like $52. So I spent $2 on a really nice rolling pin for my mom. Like I bought a really nice pan that I make eggs in. Like I use it for that stuff. I use it for just random stuff that is roughly the credit that I don't have to think too hard about. It's great.
I will say I have not used the Saks credit in maybe a year. But the first time I used it was for a rice cooker, and that bad boy gets used all the time. Surprising no one, I buy rice in 100-pound bag increments. We are now about to finish our first bag of rice for the year, and that rice cooker has worked overtime.
Yeah, it's sometimes like you think of Saks and you think of like high-end clothes, but no, it's the random stuff you can find that kind of makes it.
Also, you're in this right age group for this. Did you watch Courage the Cowardly Dog as a kid?
Who do you think I am? Of course I watch Courage the Cowardly Dog.
As you were talking about that rolling pin, all I thought was Muriel just bam.
Correct. Any other thoughts on the Platinum Refresh? I think they did. We'll talk about the CSR and the Platinum Refresh in a minute. I want to save that as a separate aside. But as far as the refresh sort of in a vacuum on its own, how do you feel?
Um, I'll say this. I never want to see another card go up because I don't want to spend more money. Granted, it's saving me a little bit of money because of the additional credits. Um, I'm I'm not quite lukewarm on it. I'm I'm in a nice spa. I'm in a warm bath. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think, and unfortunately, it was enough for me to dethrone the CSR as my primary premium travel card. And again, I need to say this: the CSR is not a bad card, and I'm not going to stand for CSR slander from people. Um, it's just I am not traveling nearly as much now. If I had the travel that I was doing in the first quarter of this year and all of last year, it's not even a debate. The platinum would have been gone as soon as that annual fee hit. But I'm just not, right? And so those sapphire lounges, they are beautiful, fantastic sapphire lounges in LaGuardia, JFK, Philly. The one in DC, little small, but it gets the job done. But they're amazing, right? I just don't have use cases for them anymore. Am I paying 7.95 and 8.95 just to have access, or can I just say, hey, I have the brilliant and I have the platinum. I'll go to the sapphire lounge twice a year. Call it a day.
Yeah. I might be a little higher than you because I was expecting more of a screw up. Because there has not really been a good card refresh in like the gold was fine. I don't think the gold was as good as I don't think the gold as I stand today, I don't think the refresh on the gold was as good as I did at the time of the gold refresh. Not because I think it's bad, I just think it's fine and it could have been better for what
I
they
agree with you
they
there.
did.
I think that they could have gone $10 a month on the Dunkin' credit because $7 doesn't even get you a
Yeah.
meal. It gets you either one drink or it gets you a piece of food, but it does not do both.
Right.
And I think that's intentional, right?
Yeah.
I think the Resi credit, it should have been $50 a quarter or $100 every 6 months semi-annually. It
Hmm.
just there's no reason why your food card should have less food credit than the travel card that gets 1x. That's unacceptable for me. Um, and I'm you know this. I like there are Space Coast problems, there are Kit Kat problems. The fact that it is only a $25,000 limit on groceries is still asinine, especially when Capital One has a free card that will give you unlimited groceries. And people, the Surpass exists. It gives you unlimited Hilton points for groceries.
It does. The value of those Hilton points is in question lately, but yes, it does. Um, I think it like I have a hard time. There are things that I don't like, right? Like I think it should have gotten the Hilton credit that the business card got. I
Agreed.
think some of the things are a bit weird, but otherwise, yes, there was an Aura ring credit. I am not talking about Aura as a company. No. Just no.
I've
Um,
not looked enough into Aura as a company to have an opinion one way or another there, so I have held off on
yeah.
speaking to that.
To be fair, there is a $200 Aura ring credit. That is all we're going into it with. It's that's it. Um, I think it was a good refresh. Like it's not, and it's not even like if Chase had done a refresh the way that Amex just did a refresh, which is take the card, don't change the DNA of it, and just tweak it enough where they can quote justify the annual fee going up the way they did, I would be happy with Chase too, even though I don't hold the CSR. I think when I say honor, I don't mean it as like they did great. I mean, they honored what this card was and didn't try to change the fundamental DNA of the card.
Yep. I can tell you how you could have justified $7.95 with a $195 annual user fee for the CSR. You ready? Travel and dining 4x, and then keep the 1.5, and then on United and added credits, it goes up to 2.
I don't ever think of priority pass. I'm sorry, I don't. I fully support the people that do. I fully support you. I get you. I fly Delta, and everywhere I go, there is Centurion and/or Delta Sky Club. So it is not top of my mind. If it is top of yours, then I'm glad that you have that option.
No, so I want to give Mark's comment a little bit of justice here. It opens you up to a better quality in some cases, and it also prevents people from saying, "Hey, we aren't taking priority pass right now," which is nice. Um, I think Chase should have kept the priority pass dining. If they would have done that, I think if they kept priority pass dining as well as these changes currently, it gives you a totally different conversation to have right now because it at least keeps the lounge conversation going for like spread and feel. Because right now, the other thing that's beating Chase to a pulp, and this is not their fault. Well, actually, it is their fault.
It is totally their fault.
It is their fault. They just don't have the footprint that Amex has. They looked at Amex 10 years ago and they said, that's dumb. That's not going to catch on. And then 10 years later, they go, man, that's pretty good. That's
And
pretty
they don't
good. We
own
should
the
have done that.
club. Like
Yeah.
they Amex could buy the club and just
I just want to point out Chase has what $3 trillion under asset right now with a
something
market
like
cap
that.
of
Yeah.
$86 billion from the stock. It is quite literally the Samsung Apple thing. If
Yeah.
Samsung really wanted to, Samsung could buy Apple several times over. Samsung has, I think it was like $20 trillion under asset with like a $800 billion market cap, as opposed to Apple. And somebody fact check me on this, please. But Apple with $3 trillion valuation, and like they are just better at marketing.
526.32 trillion for Samsung.
Okay, so I was off, but like put that in perspective. They are hundreds of times bigger than Apple. If Samsung really wanted to, they could buy Apple the same way that if Chase really wanted to, they could buy these lounges. And they're choosing not to because it's not a priority for them. And then they're shocked when people don't want to get their card because no matter what anybody says, the fact that we've had two historic back-to-back subs for this card lets me know everything I need to know. I've done enough like product launch theory things through school and through work to say, hey, this product launch was shit and it didn't go well.
Do you know the answer to this question, kid? Because I have never used a World Elite MasterCard for purchase protection or extended warranty benefits.
It is so yes, it is similar to Visa. However, that process is a lot more stingy, right? And so I've done this once, and that is why I no longer put purchases on a large scale on that venture card. It was like, so hold on, where is it? Because it's actually in here right now. I will find it, but I put a tech purchase. It was for a it's well, like it's a so this is something that me and Space Co were talking about, but it's an external drive where you can put a shell of it like an SSD in there, and it turns into a hard drive, like an external hard drive for you. This was probably 7-8 months ago. Didn't work. I was already past the return window, and so I said, "Hey, MasterCard, could you please like cover the warranty here because I had a Capital One offer?" Nothing. So I wouldn't trust MasterCard to cover your back there. MasterCard is really fantastic for their experiences. They are fantastic for like the relationship they have with American Airlines and with some other things. I do not personally trust MasterCard's insurance and warranty. I would say go with Visa. If you have a Visa Infinite card, go with that. Or Amex, do that. But and this is my personal experience, so I want to like give the color there to say this is one data point out of millions. You will have other people tell you, oh yeah, it's fine. It's the same thing with like Chase's car insurance. I had one bad experience, and now I will never use a Chase card to have my car coverage ever again. I will just pay the $24 for Amex.
Yes. I have not used it. I tend to buy the insurance if it's a purchase protection type thing. Like Apple, I just buy Apple Care. So I've never had a situation where it's a thing where I need to worry about it. Yes, Samsung real big. That is without question. All right.
It is also now concerning that they don't want to do business in the country, but that is for a totally different conversation and a different podcast.
That is a different. Yes, correct. But pin. Let's go to Mark Holt's question about this. I promised you, Mark, we are back to it. Thank you for waiting. I do not like the Target MasterCard. I don't like the BJ's MasterCard. I don't like any of those cards that are co-branded in that way. I think most of them don't actually give you the benefits of which they purport, not because I think they're cheating you. I think they're just not. If you're into credit cards, it feels, and if you have one of these cards, I'm not calling you out as hard as you think I am, but it's kind of like playing JV instead of varsity. And with the Shoppers Cash, one of the nice things is it's the first year free, right? So if you try it and hate it, all you did was burn a 524 spot if you care about 524, right? It also is malleable. So every quarter you can pick. So say your target spend for some reason goes down to 0, you just have to wait till the quarter ends and then you can change it out. You can also you get 2, so you can pick a second. So if you do some spend at Walmart or Amazon or wherever, you can slot that in as well. I really like my Shoppers Cash. It's been very useful so far. There is a $95 annual fee for how I spend with the categories I selected. I cannot imagine not hitting $95 quite a bit plus. As far as the Target MasterCard, you do have to look at caps too. With Shoppers Cash, there are quarterly caps for that. So if you blow past that, it might not do you as much good. But getting a dedicated Target MasterCard, I don't know if it's the wisest choice. That would be my 2 cents, Kid, your thoughts?
So I have two camps of thought here. Um, Before moving to Indianapolis, right, or where I am in Indiana, Target was our main grocery store, Target and
Hmm.
Costco. Um, Granted, at that point in time, we weren't really huge credit card people, and we thought about getting the Target card because 5% back is 5% back, especially when that's where most of our spend happens. It
Hmm.
makes it easy, right? And so I think if Target is true, if you look at your finances, look at what you spend in a month. If Target is over 50% of that, I think personally it's a good look. However, you also then need to take the step back to say, do I want flexibility and cash back? Do I want flexibility and points? So like all of that does matter, right?
Hmm.
Um, I think that the shopper cash is a better look for that just because you have the opportunity to cash that out into a US bank checking account, savings account. You can put it into a brokerage. Don't I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but their brokerage is terrible. Do not use it.
No, you can also
So
just
yeah,
use it like it is 1 cent per point as a statement credit, which is what I do.
yeah. So I think that I personally look to flexibility because you never know what happens, right? Like I wasn't expecting my furnace to go out and for my floors to buckle. And just to put in perspective, I'm getting to fix floors on Sunday because I refuse to pay a guy. So I need to go rent a nail gun and air compressor from Lowe's. So that's fun.
Can you like pay him in like MR points? Be like,
If I
I'll
could,
tr-
trust me, I would.
I'm
Trust
going to
me, I would.
transfer these to Hilton, and then from Hilton, I'll transfer them to your Hilton account. That's how I'm paying for my floor.
Hell, I've got 600,000 Hilton points right now. I could give them. Go have a nice night on you, on me, bud. Go for it.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with Kid. I think flexibility is important. And if you have an option to, um, if you have an option to have a card with an annual fee without an annual fee for a year, it does help figuring out if it makes sense for you. There are some shipping benefits, absolutely. If you're doing the pickup orders or however you're doing it, it may or may not matter. But Daddy Vroom is correct. There are some benefits. Um, are you ready to talk about the American Express Business Platinum Card, Craig?
Absolutely.
2x on key business purchases. I'm skipping the line and we're talking about this. 2x on some things on business categories or a single purchase of 5,000 more, up from 1.5. That to
Love it.
me is big. Like that is a legit thing that is very big. I will say Lenders Club Sterling status is on the personal as well. We didn't talk about that. I know nothing about it. So I'm telling you it's there. I am not telling you what to do or how important it is. And no, we're not going over global entry and TSA. That is on every premium card. Go to the website.
For Sterling
That's
status,
where.
I'm currently going through that program and looking. It looks to have a really nice, similar to what is it? The Accor and there's another luxury place, but they've got some nice hotels. Some seem to be reasonable, but the footprint is very small, like smaller than Hyatt, would I would say. So just something
Yeah.
to keep in mind there.
For the 2x categories for the new platinum, 2x on construction materials and hardware supplies, electronic good retailers and software and cloud system providers, shipping providers, and then everything over 5,000, up to $2 million of purchases per calendar year. I expect Keith to have 7 of these by next week.
I think Keith already has 3 or 4 platinums.
Yeah. Business platinum. Be very clear. He's not a vanilla platinum guy.
True. My apologies.
But no, I like the business. Here's the thing. I think you're either a business platinum person or you're a personal platinum person.
Yep.
I am a personal platinum person. That card works incredibly well for me in my life. I am not saying it should work for you in your life. I'm not saying the business platinum is a bad card. I think you're kind of one or the other. So for me, the personal makes more sense, but I really like that it got the $600 hotel credit. It has a $200 Hilton credit. I have 2 cards with Hilton credits, so I need to burn those babies down before I worry too much about that. It does right now have the 35% airline bonus that pays you back. Overall, the
Only up
business
to 1 million
platinum,
points. I know that
yes,
doesn't sound like a hard cap, but also think about how easy it is to actually get MR points. I was at 0 MR points in June. I am currently sitting at like 600,000 MR points now. So
your spend is maybe a little higher than some of the people in the world.
well, no, this is also from upgrade downgrade offers.
Yeah,
So like, I want to say 200,000 came from upgrade downgrade stuff.
yeah. Overall, like I don't have a ton to say about the business platinum other than good job, Amex. You did good.
I want to point out how nice it is that they actually. So I'm going to say this: the business platinum is a business card. It is not a business
Yes,
card. It is not a I got a little side hustle card. It is a business
it's a
card.
business card.
Uh, Even the Amex Business Gold is really a business card. We just look at it at the light
I love that
30
card.
degree angle during the solstice to say, oh, it's a card for me. It's not. Um, like I love the categories they did. Um, I think a lot of small businesses, especially though, I'm not going to go give him any business, but the guy that does the hardwood floors, he is the hardwood flooring person for this town, right? Like he is the person to go to. He
Mhm.
has several subcontractors working underneath him. It is not weird for me to think that he would probably spend somewhere between one a half to $2 million on hardwood floors, supplies, paying his employees. Because that's the other thing too. If it's a purchase over $5,000, you can make that purchase in ADP using your credit card to pay your employees. And if your employees worked a certain amount of time, if they get paid monthly or if they're getting paid like for a large payout account, hey, that's 2x for you, right? And those are the things that people aren't thinking about. Where, yeah, I need to put 2x. Like, could I use a Blue Business Plus? Sure, but like,
It's got a $50,000 cap. So if you're
yeah,
spending $300,000 on construction materials, it's not going to help you much.
exactly. And so I just want to give Amex some credit to say like, hey, that was a really good deal right there. Um, Oddly enough, I think the business platinum and the business reserve also punch in totally different, not weight classes, but leagues because they're doing two totally different things. I think the business reserve is more closely fighting with the Amex Business Gold.
Yes. And yes, Sleepy Rob, that is correct. Um, yeah, the business card did well. Good job. Double, if you have any specific questions since you wanted to call out this business card, I would love to hear your thoughts. I know Keith has an army of them, so I'm always interested in what he has to say. Um, all right, Keith. All right, kid. We've got to talk about it. What are your thoughts on the mirror finish of ye old
Mm.
American Express Platinum in business
So
platinum?
I already have it in my
I already have it on my Apple wallet.
Apple account, right? Like it's there. I fear that it is going to be like the white gold debacle, and it's not actually going to be a mirror finish. And it's just going to be a hazy platinum. We shall see.
I like my problem with the white gold wasn't actually the white gold. It was the coloring of the accoutrements on it, the writing on it.
Fair enough.
That's what I didn't think, or that's what I didn't like. So for me, I am more hopeful that this will look good. I
No, I
liked the
agree.
white gold, but I am more hopeful that this will look good.
If it is
Um,
truly a mirror finish, oh, I'm 100% all over
yeah,
that. I will never change it again. I've been a flower boy um, the entire time it's been there. I switched over to the abstract one just so I can get the thing, and now I'm going to have to get a second one of these. Fun fact for you all that you don't know: I keep a framed like a little portrait of like deactivated cards, and I'm adding this bad boy into there. There's going to be
yeah.
a quadfecta of platinum cards now.
So, double, my thoughts on it are I like it in theory. I don't like it in practice because you have to pay the 35% before you get it back. If it was a 35% discount, I would be much higher on it. I don't like that you have to have those points to get them back.
I
That to
don't
me is the problem.
necessarily.
And this is a how many points I keep in my MR bucket. I keep usually around 1 to 200,000. So I am not sitting on if I was sitting on 600,000, I think I would feel very very different. I don't keep that many there at any one time.
So I feel a little bit differently about that. And to your point, it depends on what you have bucketed, right? So I want to
Right.
give that credence there. But I like that it is on a business card because most times business owners, they're not just burning through their MR points. Those are assets to be used either for cash back, to pay for taxes. Hey, I have travel to be used. It could be used for personal travel. I'm not saying that it's not. But I think that there's a little bit more of a meticulous nature, and not saying that people aren't meticulous with their personal MR points, but I think there's a more particular nature and how they're
Mhm.
done. The thing that I have a gripe with, and this is not an issue for RJ, right? RJ is only going to use those points for Delta, and we know that, and that's perfectly fine. For
Delta and
someone,
Hilton, yeah.
well, for the 35% rebate,
Oh yeah, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
um, like that is all RJ is going to use them for, and that's perfectly okay. If you are someone like Matt, where hey, I have the ability to be in New York City and I can pick any major airline in the country or internationally, that becomes a problem, right? Because let's say that I have JetBlue selected for my thing, but there's a direct flight on Delta that I want to use. Well, now I can't, right? And so I think that the flexibility there is the issue. And not saying that it's a bad thing. Like if you are most times, if you were all in on one property or one provider, then it works out. For me, I am a held captive AA user. But for my personal time, I'm using, granted, I use AA because I just have those points laying around.
Mhm.
Um, but if I'm spending money, it's usually on United or Delta.
Yeah. As far as this, I think for the demographic that this card is for, like this is a legit business card and a specific business. This is not a general business card. This is a very targeted business card. Um, I understand why they don't do 5x flights because if you have a lot of flights, um, you're going to hit that cap and you're going to be a problem. Um, but for the people it's for, I think it's probably fine that they're doing the 5x through the portal and then the 2x for targeted things.
So I'll say this too. When we're talking about a small business is technically considered anything that has less than a few $1 billion under asset cap. I worked for a startup when I first graduated college, and he was an alum of my college, wonderful guy. He invented gift cards, right? Like he invented the idea of a loyalty program. He was on the Exxon Mobil team that made it possible for you to swipe your card there and put loyalty programs into businesses. Right? His
Oh.
entire business is I will pay for 98% of your gift card and then I make a 2% margin. That is all he does. And like they do hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in revenue every year, right? Like those are the people that they're talking about. Like, hey, are you spending $2 million on like construction property because you have a real estate business, or are you taking $500,000 in flights? It's not unusual for that guy to say, hey, I'm either flying private or I'm flying like semi-private because I don't have my own jet. It's not weird for him to have 50, $60,000 in flights in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Like I fly a lot, but like he's going back and forth to London. He's going back and forth to San Francisco. Also, name of the company was SVM. If anybody wants to look at it, they got acquired by Blackhawk Networks, which are the people that put all the gift cards in these supermarkets and those little kiosks that you see. But yeah, like those are the people that they're talking about for small business owners. And
Yeah.
not to say that like businesses don't range in any variety of things, but like let's think about like how often are we actually thinking about somebody paying $500,000 for flights? Well, that's who they're talking about.
Yeah. I actually have a Blackhawk charge on one of my cards today because I bought an Uber gift card through another website. So I had a budget for food while I'm at the Hiltons. Double. I think if you're in Amex, you have to at least give Hilton a look. You don't necessarily have to have them as your primary or your secondary. I think it would be unusual to me for the person just to never stay at a Hilton. Maybe if flights are your primary reason for being in MR points, completely understand. Completely understand. So, but to me, the quote normal person, and when I say normal, guys, when I say normal person, I don't mean your Uncle Bob who uses a debit card for everything. I mean the normal credit card user that is in the Discord or watching YouTube videos, right? Like normal in that context, not Uncle Bob. I think most people who have MR are at least dabbling in Hilton, at least a little bit.
I will say, I think the only reason that you shouldn't dabble in Hilton if you have these Amex cards is if you are truly just 100% all in, full go on Marriott. And that could be for a few different reasons. You could have
Correct.
a contract or certain items that make Marriott's just cheaper to use. So, fun fact,
Mhm.
whenever I'm in Philadelphia, I very rarely, if ever, will stay at a Hilton. And it's not because they don't have nice Hiltons. There are some really fantastic Hilton properties. uh, UPenn, as an alum, they give you a code and they say, hey, if you're ever in Philadelphia, here's the code to get cheaper Marriott stays. You will very rarely, if ever, pay more than $150 a night at any
Damn.
hotel at any hotel, any Marriott property in Philadelphia, and that includes the Ritz. Now I'm gonna tell you that Ritz is crap. Do not stay at the Ritz in Philadelphia. Like it is just not good. But like it, that's the case, right? Like if you can say, hey, points be darned, I just want to save money. There's a big difference in saving $50 a night versus, oh, I have a $50 credit to burn. So, I think that's the case. But if not, to RJ's point, Hilton is still a great program, right? Like I've been belly aching about the devaluation on the top end recently. Um, but at the mid cap and econo property, Hilton is still really a great usage of your time.
I like Hilton, like actual branded Hiltons.
Mhm.
That's usually where if I'm doing a Hilton, it's usually either a Hampton Inn, a DoubleTree, or a Hilton. And yeah, Keith, 100%. Like there are people who just go crazy. Sleepy Rod, no. I don't I don't manufacture spend in any respect. This is one of the things that I am the most hardliner of probably most of the people you will find on YouTube. I If you don't do anything illegal, I am not your mother, I am not your wife, I am not your girlfriend, I am not your daughter. I will not tell you what to do, but no. QC Man would like to know crap by crap standards or crap by Ritz standards.
A bit of both. So
Fair.
if you go onto Reddit and you type in like Philly Ritz, you will see some horror stories on there. Um, I've
Spathco weapon under the bed level horror stories?
No, I mean it's Philly, but no.
Fair.
I'll say this: if I'm going to pay $300 a night, I expect my sheets to be clean. I expect that
Yes.
the room is dusted. I expect that, hey, there's no off smells in the room, right? Like mothballs. Like I know,
Mhm.
don't sit here and tell me as a front desk there's no mothballs in the room. I know what mothballs smell like, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not just crap by Ritz standards. That's crap by like, hey, I paid good money to be here. I expect something, right? Like here's the thing: even if I was a Hilton Garden Inn, if I walk in and there's a big yellow stain on the street on the spread, hey, we got a problem here. Because that lets me know that you either A, haven't cleaned this room, or B, you put dirty sheets back on that bed.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. I am in the chat, guys. I'm calling for final questions. We have a hard out at 10:25 tonight. at the max, because some of us have adult jobs and have to work. So we are doing a hard out at 10:25, which is not our usual thing. So I am giving you 20 full minutes to ask whatever you would like.
Honestly, that's probably where Santa went. After the old lady that kept a 22 under her wig, like put him up there, beat him with a can of pennies.
Yeah. Philly, like I respect Philly the way you respect a wild dog. Like I just
Hey, you leave my people
back
alone.
away slowly. Hey, Boston is one of my favorite cities. Okay. Again, glass houses and thrown stones. So I feel you.
Also, I'm gonna say this again. Just look up some. Clint, trust me, if I could retire right now, I would. This is not a flex. This is not me trying to say like, oh my god, look at me. But this was something I was really proud of. My dividend just hit in, and I finally have 2,000 shares of SGS of SHCD. So yay, retirement. It's 30 years from now. It's gonna be there.
If the world's like there could be a supernova next week, like let's not pretend we're all gonna make 30 years.
And you would still have to pay taxes.
Yeah. Do we think the Venture X is next? No, I think Capital One is very much trying to fix the Delta system issue and just get everything on Delta. I don't think Venture X is due for a refresh right now. Discover, I'm sorry. Yes, they're trying to get everything on Discover that they can. So I think they're worried about that.
I think the Capital One devaluation was the lounges. Afterwards, yeah. I don't think that we'll see anything major coming from Capital One. That'd be like trying to wrestle a bear and feed a pig at the same time.
Yeah. Delta's really good at it, but more of just like usability and all of that than actual like premier stuff. I think I think Amex in the lounge game and in the portal game took it seriously when other people were not. And because of that, their head start is so far that I think it will take time. And time is not on everybody's side.
Jerome has a good point here, but I will address that in a second. I agree with RJ. I think Chase is most poised to make that leap. I think that I think in 2 years' time, the edit will be where FHR is now. Maybe not full 3,100 properties, but I will say that they will at least be at 2,000, maybe 2,500. I just don't think that based on this launch that they are going to sit here and rest on the laurels.
Yeah. All right. This is the big question. If you had to give it a numerical rating from 0 to 10, what's your rating?
I'm going to say 7.
Okay.
Strong 7.
Okay. I would probably go with an 8, so we're in the same ballpark. I think I'm probably more a solid. It seems like I'm more like a solid B plus, and you're more a solid like B minus. So we're in the same ballpark.
If I'm being kind, I'm going to say a B. If I'm being cynical, B minus. I think that it gave you more of what the Platinum was at its core, where the CSR changed who it was, right? So like, I can't be mad at you for giving me more of yourself. You unmasked.
I understand that they're a shell. If you think they're a shell, I get why. They're still so far ahead in branding and actual physical locations that I think they're just in a different league.
I think it depends on the location as well.
Right? Yes. Like I cross-check every hotel I stay at. I don't care if it's an Intercontinental or a DoubleTree or whatever. I check all of them. I like lounges, same thing. Got to check them.
Also, so this is going back to Jerome and also now ladder emojis comments about the Ritz. I think that the Ritz is probably poised to be where it is for about another 2 years or so. And that is the max limit, right? Like if Chase is too focused right now on trying to fix the CSR, to
Mhm.
change the Ritz, right? And I'm not saying that they can't walk and chew. Well, yeah, they actually can't walk and chew gum at the same time right now. But I think that they would be foolish to make those changes right now when they can't even get the CSR launch perfectly pinned down. Um, and that's the pathway that I'm choosing to go until the CSR is in its final form. But yeah, I can't see the Ritz lasting too much longer. I hope it does because I would like to get a Ritz next year, but neither here nor there.
Yeah, Keith, thank you for the super. It like this legitimately, I think they did it right. Even if I don't agree on every point, this is how you do a refresh. You do the refresh, everybody gets updated, everybody's on the same page.
And you know what? I'm gonna say this from a actual physical, hey, what did you change standpoint? B. From a rollout standpoint, A plus. And
Yeah.
the rationale there, they aren't waiting to tell people, hey, you got to wait 6 months until you get or 4 months until you can get the new benefits. They aren't saying, hey, there's a mystery about when things will actually happen. I know based on the way that Amex has functioned in the past that those credits will just work, right? And so
Yeah.
they built hype around it in a way that wasn't weird. I didn't just walk up and see Sandra Bullock holding a big ass Chase Sapphire Reserve at a bus stop. They showed you what you wanted to see. Here's the new platinum. That's all you're going to see. We're going to get our partners in the points guy together. He's going to do a nice little soft launch for us, and there we go.
Yes. I don't renew mine for like 9 months, but as of right now, I don't see any reason why I'm not.
Mine renews in June, so for me, it's a go. So my platinum and my CSR, well, both renew in June. Um, Again, I want to say this: even with these updates, if I was still traveling the way I was, I wouldn't renew the platinum. But because my travel has decreased oddly on the business end, the platinum just works better. It's odd to say that traveling less makes the platinum work better, but I enjoy the ability to have that flexibility because now I can say, hey, I can get into Sky Clubs, I can get into Centurion Lounges, I can go to Priority Pass. There are just so many extra elements and layers to the footprint that Chase does not give you.
It also, like, you were going to a very specific airport. Philly airport is more Chase in the way that you were using it than if you were going to a different airport.
Yeah.
So there's that. I have no idea. Kid, any
Ooh, I
comments?
gotcha. Do you mean pure United or Polaris? Because that's different. Um, so if we're going just pure United, there are two in ORD that are absolutely fantastic, knock your socks off. And then there's one in Newark, and it's right around Terminal C. I want to say it's by C109. Absolutely fantastic. Those three, just like some of the best United, like the best examples of a United lounge that you could possibly have. Um, it will knock your socks off between food, space, seating. They're never too full because they're just so massive. Like they're 20,000 square feet plus.
Yeah.
From a Polaris standpoint, I like Chicago and the one in IAD is really beautiful.
Nice. Uh, I don't. I like direct booking. I prefer direct booking, but Amex and Delta are the two that have not burned me so far, so I keep using them. Yes, but also if Marriott and Chase do it, it's a zombie card, right? You
Yeah.
can't directly get it, so yes, I think it will be very different by next summer.
Oh, 100%. I think I'm going to call it right now, and you all can fact check me or timestamp me on this. That 1.5 is coming back. I think Chase needs
Yeah.
something as a kicker that is going to draw people back in. I think the 1.5 comes back. I think that we will see that 2x boost be a little bit broader, if not for anything else but Southwest and Hyatt. Um, I also think that DoorDash, I mean not DoorDash, the Open Table Sapphire Table credit will just become an Open Table credit.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot more flexibility across the CSR because they've gone so far niche that they've shot themselves in the foot.
Double ask this for the show. Go put this in podcast questions. I'm asking you for that because that is a topic that I want to do for the podcast. So we're not answering it now.
I'd love
I can
to
guarantee
go back and forth with Lonnie on that one.
Yeah, I promise you that if you put it in the podcast, it will be on the next episode. Why do I say that? Because I do the show. I am the decider apparently of the podcast when it comes to the rundown. Mostly because I just do it and people don't change it back. Yeah, they didn't take anything away that was fundamental to the card unless you were a huge Equinox fan.
Which, for all 4 people out there, I'm so sorry. Also, to hit Jerome's question, no, I spend 40 grand on groceries every year. I don't need to do that.
Yeah,
it's not by choice. I don't want to feed that many people, but yeah.
Yeah. I was skipping that one. Here's what I will say about that. Again, if you do it legally, that is your choice. Stack your points is not the community for that.
We are not. I don't do it. Lonnie doesn't do it. Matt doesn't do it.
And we don't. That, group. It is not a banned topic in the Discord, but it is not an encouraged topic in the Discord, and we keep a tight lid on it. Again, if you want to do it and you're doing it legally, more power to you. It is not something Stack Your Points is going to ever really talk about unless we're talking about it as a topic of manufactured spend as a topic. And I am guessing we're probably not going to be super jazzed on it. So
I'm just going to let you know there are other places that if that is something you want to do, plenty of places there, folks.
There's a Reddit community about churning and all of that. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Dining credits for the people who had the card and just don't get everything. Like, this is why I like Amex, because they just do it. Catalyst, I still think Catalyst is going to be the base card because Catalyst is the start of a reaction, and I think Graphite will be the higher end card, but we will find out.
It's funny because, like, fun fact for people that don't know, my formal training is chemical engineering. Graphite does not have as high of a chemical compound or chemical chain weight makeup as platinum or gold, and it is also not technically, it's just carbon, right? Like, it is a different structure of carbon, but yeah, I'm just like, that's weird.
It's also gray, which between the platinum and the black card. So there's that. This is the first time I've ever been called George W. Bush in any context. And I don't know how I feel about it, but probably more positive than I typically would. QC man. So good job.
He has a wonderful book set. Like, he paints.
He paints.
Yeah, no. So, fun fact: if anybody wants to know about that, George Bush does a wonderful book of paintings that he does with wounded warriors. So, yeah.
Also, he is a baseball guy. I will give him props for baseball. He's still from Connecticut and cosplayed as a Texan, but so many people have. Yeah, we will talk about CSR more on the show. I think my topic this week is going to be heavily on that. I don't know exactly how I'm formatting the question yet because I'd like not to give Matt an aneurysm.
It's really funny because I think that they rolled out those
United nowhere cards on the website.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, they rolled out those United cards and nobody really gave a whimper. But also, I think that it's a very different group of people that use United airline cards versus those travel points. So,
yeah. Yeah, I think that could change a lot of things. I also think that they might just stick to their gun. Like, at some point, they might just say, you know what, we can't keep changing it. So we're just going to suck it up for a couple of years.
I'm going to push back, though, because, it's Chase's DNA to be constantly changing. Think about
Mhm.
all the contracts that like have end dates with those things, like the Grubhub or the Uber Eat. I mean, not Uber Eats, the Lyft and all that stuff. So I think it's kind of on par for them. The only thing that like gives me hope that it might happen because, and to QC Man's point, it might be a little bit too much sense. Um, I think Chase will use these items and say, hey, this isn't a big deal that we don't have credit card signups. It's a big deal that we now have people that aren't coming to us for car loans, for mortgages, and they're moving their brokerage, right?
Mhm.
Because I know plenty of people that will say, "Hey, you pissed me off. I'm taking all of my business elsewhere. Schwab or Fidelity or Vanguard will take care of me."
I think that the thing is a lot of people disconnect credit cards from everything else. So credit cards are only a part of Chase. Credit cards are the majority of Amex. And I think we
Yes.
forget that a lot, right? Like Amex is not as big as Chase because Amex focuses primarily on credit cards. Where if they were as massive as Chase overall and did so many other things, I think things would be different. I guarantee you, Matt's going to have some hot takes because I am going to perhaps massage the deck, so he's going to have to answer. James, thank you for the $5. You absolutely can. If you go into the Discord, we literally have a channel called I Have a Question. And if you put your question in there, this is not for the podcast, this is for the Discord itself. And anybody in the Discord can talk to you. I have seen threads that go on for hours to help people. I have put questions in there. Kid has put questions in there. There are a lot of people who put
Regularly.
questions in there because here's the thing. We are all smart people. We do not know everything. We cannot go through every
Speak for
situation.
yourself.
I know 93% of things. It's that other 7% that's the killer.
I'm not smart. That's what I was implying.
Oh, okay. You're a very smart man. But yeah, go into I have a question. It's under reference and strategy. It is something that people use a lot. It is something that is very helpful because sometimes just having that sounding board is really, really, really important. Do we want Chase to be better to make EMX? I don't. I think Chase doesn't want to. I know this is going to sound weird. I don't think actually Chase wants to go after Amex because, again, it is such a small part comparatively of their business strategy. They just want to not have the numbers dip to where people get restless at like stockholder level.
I just dropped
Yeah.
the Discord link in the chat, so you can copy paste that bad boy right there.
Yeah. The Discord is legitimately one of my, like, even if we didn't do the podcast, and guys, we're not going to not do the podcast. I'm not saying that, but even still, I think the Discord would live on because it's one of my, it's a fantastic place. Yeah, the Discord is great. Almost everybody in the chat is in the Discord. And there are so many more people in the Discord. I think we're in the 170s, 180s, I think at this point. So yeah, we're getting there. We're almost to 200 on the Discord. So it is a fantastic place. We are right at 10:24, and I promised we would be out at 10:25. So Kid, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I think that the platinum refresh was great. Not great, good. I think that it just gave us more of what the platinum was. So if the platinum wasn't for you before, it's not for you now. But also, and this is just me trying to be both diplomatic but also realistic and saying the CSR is still a really good card. The Venture X is a really good card. The City Strata Elite, if you want American Airlines points, it gives you American Airlines points, and it has City Nights. So that is two good things that I said about it. Um, the
Serious.
beauty of this game is that depending on your situation, anything could work except for maybe credit one, right? Like
Yeah.
no one can
If we
tell you
take
that you are
out
doing the game wrong.
predatory lenders, most things can work. Double, you gave 2 memberships today, sir. Again, I appreciate all 172 of you because I'm a member. So actually 171 because I'm also the stack your points on there. So the 171 of you that are in there that are not me or me adjacent, I appreciate all of you. And as Clinton always says, say goodnight, Matt. Good night, Matt. Bye, guys.
Night, Matt.